Okay, guys, we're here with yet another book haul. Why are we here again? I don't know. And why are there so many books? I don't even know. It's probably like 50 books would be my guess. I don't know why we're here, why we're doing this again, but it's just where we're at. Okay, we're gonna go in no order because if you saw the intro, I very chaotically threw them over here and now they're just in a pile. We're not very professional over here. If you're new here, I'm Hannah, and welcome to Hannah's Reading Realm, where I can't seem to stop buying books. Okay, let's just start. The first book we'll start with is this one. This was gifted to me. I'm in like a bunch of Facebook groups and they have like Fairy Fridays and whatever, and this was gifted to me by Leah. And I don't really know what this even is, if I'm being honest with you. This is a translated work. I don't know why I keep trying with translated work. They never work out for me, but I like the idea that there's pictures in this. This is a spine-tingling bestseller that has taken Japan by storm in an eerie, fresh take on mystery horror, which is a series of seemingly innocent pictures draws you into a disturbing web of unsolved mysteries and shattered psyches. A pregnant woman sketches on a seemingly innocent blog, concealing a chilling warning. A child's picture of his home contains a dark secret message. A sketch made by a murder victim that in its final moments leads an amateur sleuth down a rabbit hole that will reveal a horrifying reality. Structured around 9 childlike drawings, everyone holding a disturbing clue, this novel invites readers to piece together the harrowing truth behind each one and the overarching backstory that connects them all. Strange Pictures is a best-selling novel, blah, blah, blah. So, we have that. This was unhauled by my friend Christy, and I really don't know what it's about. I just loved the cover, so I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. I'll find the audio. I'll, like, wait for the audio for it, because I just love the cover. This is a sharp-tongued folk... Oh, this is a Dark and Drowning Tide by Allison Saft, and this is Strange Pictures by Yuketsu, and this is a sharp-tongued folklorist must pair up with her academic rival to solve their mentor's murder in this lush and enthralling sapphic fantasy romance from the New York Times bestselling author of Far Wilder Magic. I will definitely be getting this on audio, but I am excited about it. Another thing she sent to me is The Tenant by Frida McFadden. I do collect Frida's books, so this was another one to pick up. She was ordering off of Amazon. I think they were doing like a buy 2 get 1 free or some nonsense like that. And so she was like, I'm just going to pick this up. Do you want it after I'm done reading it? And I was like, yup. Another thing she gifted me. So this is so funny. So we both have really fallen in love with Grady Hendrix. I've listened to the short story The Blanks by him, loved it. I loved My Best Friend's Exorcism. I loved Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I'm about to read A Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. Like, and we sold our souls. I think the only thing I'll have left is the Final Girl Support Group, which brings us back to How to Sell a Haunted House. I gave How to Sell a Haunted House 2 stars, and I do think I want to reread it, but listen to the audio, because I've heard the audio for it is really good, but I hated the book. I think it sucked, and then I unhauled it, I will admit. But now, why am I like this? I wish I could give you a real answer, but unfortunately I can't, and it's just like an unfortunate part of being me as a person. And now I'm like, well, I wish I didn't get rid of it, because now I want all of his books. So, my friend Christy was ordering from somewhere in the UK, and they had this really fun version of How to Sell a Haunted House on sale for like $14, hardcover and signed. So she bought me a copy, and here it is. Look at how fun this cover is. It's way prettier than the one that I have. I love like the hardcover navy. It has the navy sprayed edges, and we do have the signature in here. The little ghosty that says hi, and I think it's super cute. And I also have Witchcraft for Wayward Girls signed by him, so I think that's super exciting. So we are adding this to the collection. I also, in this mess of shit, I had gone on a trip to Dallas with my friend Andrea, and we did what we refer to as the half price books crawl. Dallas is where I think the original Half Price books are, and there's so many of them in Dallas. So we basically just like drive around to all of them one day and have a blast. So I did pick up a ton of books while I was there. They were also having a 20% off sale. So basically it was 20% off of the listed price of the books. So I mean, deals and steals, you know what I'm saying? So one of the books that some of these I don't remember where I got them, I'll just let you know, but that's where I picked up Unsteady by Peyton Corinne, and I believe this is some sort of figure skating romance. Ugh, I hate Reese, R-H-Y-S. I just think it's such a cringe-tastic name. I don't know why everybody uses it. Ooh, there's a playlist. Let's see, anything I really like up in here. I'm not very like big on music, so probably like not. There's a couple of Taylor Swift songs, and that's pretty much all I've heard of. There's like some Pink Floyd, Hoser, whatever. But Reese is desperate to feel anything. Sadie wants to stop feeling so much. And I think there's a second book. This is called like the Undone series, I believe, and it's green. Reese, I'm not going to try to say his last name, is back. At least he's supposed to be during his last year's Frozen 4. The Waterfall University, so I think this is college, hockey captain and NHL legacy took a brutal hit that left him with a concussion and a new discomfort on the ice. Plagued by nightmares and panic, every time he attempts to skate, Reese wonders if he'll ever play again, or if he even wants to. Sadie is staying focused this semester no matter what, currently drowning in debt, custody hearings for her younger brothers and skating practices. She is just trying to make it to the next day. A Spitfire figure skater known for her bad attitude and frequent disappearing acts, Sadie has a reputation on campus and not a pretty one. When she accidentally witnesses one of the Golden Boy hockey captain's panic attacks and attempts to help him, a strange sort of understanding strikes up between them. No questions asked, just comfort. But Reese finds himself drawn to Sadie, where he feels empty, a shell of a man, a player he was before. Sadie is so full of everything. It bursts from her. Every emotion she feels seems blasted at max volume. Reese is desperate to feel anything. Sadie wants to stop feeling so much, but healing doesn't mix with secrets, and they're both skating on thin ice. So that sounds really good. The next book I picked up on a whim. It has like mediocre ratings, I will admit, but I just liked the cover, and it was $8 plus 20% or 10% off because I used a coupon on this one. And this is called The Love Con by Sarisa Glass. He's cosplaying as her boyfriend, but their feelings for each other are real in this romantic comedy. So it just like, it seems like a cute, fun little romance, which I love. We have Kenya Davenport. She believes she was switched at the hospital. How else could a lover of anime, gaming, cosplay come from STEM parents? Still, Kenya's dreams of being able to turn her creative hobby into a career. She finally has a chance to make it big when she joins a reality show competition, cosplay, or no way. So that just sounds like a fun time. Just like a fun time, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. I believe, yes, this was also on that Half Price Books crawl me and Andrea went on, and it's The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I don't think I need to go into details about this. Everybody knows about this book. I've read 7 Year Slip by her and gave it 4 stars. I read a novel Love Story by her and gave it 2 stars, so I'm interested to see how I like this. My friend Andrea DNF'd this book, but that means I'll probably love it because we disagree on everything. Another thing my friend Christy unhauled to me is this copy of Anne of Green Gables. It's so pretty, and it's so like cute and little and squatty. But basically, we buddy read the Lonely Hearts Book Club by Lucy Gilmore. Both gave it 5 stars, and there was a lot of talk about Anne of Green Gables, and she ordered this and it came in damaged, and she wasn't going to return it, and they like sent her a replacement copy. And so she was like, do you want it? I don't like have a need for it. And I was like, yeah, I'll take it, I don't care. So we have that. Then I got at Half Price Books, this is one of the, I think it's called like Cherry Harbor is like the name of this series by Melanie Harlow. I have the whole series now. You'll see it. I already own Runaway Love and Hideaway Heart, and then I managed to get the other 3 books. Do I even know if I'll like this series? No, but if I don't like it, my sister will probably like it. So there's that. And all of like the first printings have the sprayed edges, and I didn't want to run the risk of like, if I do like it, not being able to have all of them have the sprayed edges and have like just one wonky one. So this is Make Believe Match. the fake engagement, enemies to lovers, small town romance. I think that's all we need to know. Then this is another book that I got while I was doing that half price book crawl with Andrea. This is called Cleat Cute by Meryl Wilsner. This is a sapphic romance. We have Grace, and she has been the star of the women's national team for 10 years, even though she's only 26. But when she's sidelined with an injury, a bold new upstart, Phoebe Matthews, takes her spot. 22-year-old Phoebe is everything Grace isn't. A gregarious jokester who plays with a joy that Grace lost somewhere along the way. The last thing Grace expects is to become teammates with benefits with the class clown she sees as her rival. So that sounds super duper cute. Then another book series that I now just have all of them of. Basically, I was gifted book 1 again from like a book fairy on Facebook, and then I found the next 2 books at a half price books, and then I got the 4th book as buy one get one 20% off, or buy one get one 50% off, I think, actually, at Barnes & Noble. So this is book 3 in the Sugar Lake series. I love that the number of like which book it is on the spine to keep me like organized. And this is by Emily McIntyre. She is the author. I think she's probably most famously known for writing Hooked, which I have no interest in, but this is, your worth has nothing to do with how you look. It has to do with who you are. That's what makes you beautiful. Jackson Rhodes has the perfect smile and a broken heart. When he gets offered his dream job in Hollywood, he packs up his shattered pieces and leaves Sugar Lake for good. He thought he was hired to restore classic cars, but instead his new boss tasks Jackson with keeping an eye on his daughter. Jackson agrees reluctantly, not realizing doing so will change his life forever. Blakely Donahue is one of the biggest influencers in North America. She's followed by millions and has never felt more alone. Obsessed with counting calories, drowning under the pressure of perfection, she's barely holding herself together. When her father's new employee starts hanging around, Blakely can't help but feel a pull. Jackson is 9 years older and entirely off limits, but he is the first person to look beyond the surface and see Blakely for who she truly is. Before either of them can stop it, they are crossing boundaries and breaking the rules, and they know better than to get too close, but for some reason neither can stay away, even if it means destruction for them both. So, excited about that. Then I have a signed copy of The Great BBL, The Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This is actually on my current TBR because I need to read it for my book club, and I haven't even started yet, and it's like the 15th or the 16th. But this is also a signed copy, which is pretty cool, Miss Emily Henry's signature right there. If you don't know, this is, from what I gather, it's about a girl named Alice, and she's getting her big break as a writer to write a memoir, a life story about this woman, and she and this guy Hayden are kind of like competing to be able to write the story. And that's that. I'll put that to the side because that's on my current TBR, so I need to put that there with my TBR. Let's see. Let's pivot to book of the month. So my book of the month pick was this, What Kind of Paradise by Janelle Brown. This bookmark made me laugh. It says, "Hi, I'm Mark." You get it? But this is about a teenage girl who breaks free from her father's world of isolation to discover that her whole life is a lie. So that sounds already just like that there sounds good. My code is down below. If you use it, you can get, I think, your first book for $5, and then I get a credit. And one of you lovely people did use my code, so I got a credit, and I picked up this book, which I've already read and gave 4 stars. This is called Fun for the Whole Family by Jennifer E. Smith, and I read this as an ARC, and I really liked it, and I've been wanting to get my hands on a copy, and I figured might as well use a credit for that. So we have that one. Then I picked this book up at the Blush bookstore, I think is what it's called, in Dallas. It is a romance-only bookstore, and it is called Slipstream by Mage Merrill. I just thought this cover was so cute, and I love any sort of sports romance. That's kind of what it's getting. I've never read Formula One. I don't know anything about Formula One, so... Lila Graywood never imagined she'd be spending her summer amid the roaring engines and adrenaline-fueled world of Formula One racing. As a serious documentarian, she has a passion for capturing the raw, unfiltered truth. When her business partner and undisclosed boyfriend, Max, signs them up to film the Ignition energy drink racing team and then promptly breaks up with her, Lila is alone in a world she despises. Enter Arthur Bianco. Arthur is not a hot name. Let's just start there. The charismatic and enigmatic F1 reserve driver whose career is as tumultuous as the races he dreams of winning. When unexpected speed bumps lead to a secret pact between Lila and Arthur, they embarked on a fake relationship. But soon cameras are rolling and the world watches as Arthur's cinematic comeback plays out over the hot globetrotting summer. Drawn to this charm and hidden vulnerability, Lila must confront her own feelings and decide if it's finally time to go off course. So that one looks really cute. And we got this one, which I did get at Half Price Books. It's called The Profiler. I believe it's also, like, in other countries called Profile K. I don't really understand why it just doesn't have the same title, but anywho, this is by Helen Fields, and it's called The Profiler in this edition that I have. She's found a killer, and he is coming for her. Midnight Jones is a profiler trained to understand the human's mind, but everything changes when she discovers Profile K's file, because K stands for killer, and she knows that someone more dangerous than she ever imagined walks among them. Midnight knows what Profile K is capable of before he even commits his first crime, but as news rolls with the brutal murder of a local woman, no one believes what she tells them, that he is capable of much worse. Profile K will kill again, and terrifyingly, Midnight realizes that the moment she found his file was the moment she became his next target. Dun dun dun! So, I'm excited for that, and it'll be fun if maybe I really enjoy the author and I can have a new fave author. Would be amazing. Then I also picked up at just like a random Half Price book trip, book 3 in the Wild series by Elsie Silver. This is the only, like, I have now all 3 of them. I have not read any of them. This is book 3, the one about the wrestler, which Larry Reed says that all she can picture is Nacho Libre, so now it's simply all I'm gonna imagine. But, like, I need, like, the rest of the Chestnut Spring series and the next of the one that's, like, Off to the Races. These are the only ones I can ever find at the used bookstore, so maybe this is just, like, her least popular series. But this is book 3 in the series, so we're picking that up. I guess we can go over the rest of this, like, Sugar Lake series by Emily McIntyre, because I do have them all right here. Book 1 was the one that I was gifted via Facebook, and this was gifted to me by Olivia, and this is Beneath the Stars, and these covers are just all so cutie pie honey bunch. We could go our entire lives without speaking, and still, I'd know you in the next one. Oh my god, that's so romantic. Alina Carson meets Chase Adams when she's 11 after he moves down the street. Okay, so it's childhood friends to lovers. We love to see it. Carrying nothing but a chip on his shoulder and dimples in his cheeks. Immediately she falls, loving him before she even knows what loving is. But becoming best friends with Chase's little sister means he is off limits, no matter how much their connection screams for something more. So also best friend's brother. Chase never cared much for following the rules. Abandoned by everyone who was supposed to love him, he's broken and insecure, choosing to push others away before given a chance to hurt him. But there's something about a girl with golden hair, and before he can stop himself, she's sneaking through her window, before whispering his deepest secrets between her glow-in-the-dark stars. As time goes and they get older, he decides to give their love a chance, no matter what anyone thinks. But old habits die hard, and when tragedy strikes, Chase is back to doing what he does best, ruining everything. Chase disappears and years pass, leaving Alina with no choice but to pick up her broken pieces and move on, until one day he's back, all grown up and taking over the family business. So, we'll see how that goes. Then this is book 2. So cute. It looks like sports related. Who knew it was possible to fall in love with someone you hate? So, enemies to lovers. Elliot Carson left Sugar Lake and never looked back. Revered as the next big thing thanks to basketball, Eli is a star until injury ends his career, sending him spiraling with no direction. But he won't go home. He can't. Instead, accepting a coaching gig at Florida, determined to leave his past behind, but fate has other plans when Becca, his sister's best friend, shows up as a student and, even worse, becomes the new team manager. And then my favorite cover. Oh my god, literally all of these books just fell down. That's so rude of them. Book 4, I don't know if this is like the last one or if it's just like all that's out currently. I love the couple on the front. They're like tattooed baddies. This one I got at Target, and I just peeled off the Target sticker, and it is kind of sticky, I will admit. The Target stickers suck asshole. I've never been able to share the dark parts of myself, never had someone ask to see them. Lily ran away, never looked back. Everybody's running away, not looking back in this series, okay? She got herself clean and lives a sober life, working hard to give her son a good home. Single mommy, okay? It's been years since she's left, and the last thing she'd expect is her brother sending someone to find her. Mason is a PI, and he's hunting her down, and I'm guessing they fall in love. So that sounds cute. Oh my god, these ones are so far away. Okay, this book is not one that I even purchased. This was gifted to me by my friend Andrea. You would have seen prior to this video, it's episode 1 of Besties Pick My Reads, where I'm having my friends pick my reads for me to get me out of my comfort zone. And she was like, are we gonna do an episode 2? And I'm like, yeah, sure, we can do another one. Like, you can pick again. I'm down, because like I want to be a fantasy girly. Like, I want to be, I'm not like trying to be not like the other girls. Like, please let me be one of you. Like, I would love to be like all of the other girls. Like, that sounds amazing, but I'm just a hater. So she picked me up a copy of ACOTAR, so this is going to be read at some point. Be excited. Be excited. We don't need to go over what that's about. I feel like everybody on planet Earth is aware. The next book I picked up when we were in Dallas, the day we actually left for Dallas, Catherine Center was doing an event at like the flagship store, and the tickets were sold out, so we didn't go. But then we did go like a few days later. I actually got 2 books while I was there. I can show you both of them. And while we were there, Liz Tomford, I don't really know how you say it, was doing an event there, and I had already ordered a copy of Rewind It Back because I like the old covers better, and I have the whole series in the old covers, so I wanted to make sure I was able to get the old one. And so I ordered it, and then I've since returned that copy because they had signed edition of it for only $16, whereas I paid $18 for my non-signed edition on Amazon. So I sent that one back, and we picked up the signed edition of Rewind It Back. In case you want to see the signature, here it is. Woo. And then I did also get a signed copy of Catherine Center's new book, The Love Haters. Here it is, so cutie. I love the like inside pages are so cute. I love the sprayed teal edges. I don't actually know what this is about, other than my friend Andrea did give it 5 stars. So this says, Katie Vaughn has been burned by love in the past, and now she may be lighting her career on fire. She has 2 choices: wait to get laid off from a job as a video producer at her coworker Cole's request, take a career making gig profiling Tom Hutchinson, a Coast Guard rescue swimmer in the Key West. The catch, she's not exactly qualified. She can't swim, but she pretends that she can. Plus, Cole and Hutch are brothers, and they don't get along. Next up, Paradise. But Paradise is messier than it seems, as Katie gets entangled with Hutch, the most scientifically good-looking man she has ever seen, but maybe a bit of a love-hater. Along with his colorful Aunt Rue and rescue Great Dane, she gets trapped in a lie or 2. Swim lessons, helicopter flights, conga lines, drinking contests, hurricanes, and stolen kisses ensure along with a chance to tell the truth, to face old fears, and to truly be brave at last. I'm sure it'll be good. I quite enjoy Catherine Center. Next up, we have got Her Every Fear by Peter Swanson. I picked this up because Beth really enjoyed this book, and I really enjoy Beth, so we got this. I've never read anything from Peter, but this cover's hideous. Thrillers really need to like try harder with the covers, because like they're just so ugly. Katie Pretty, Priddy, was always a bit neurotic, but after her ex-boyfriend kidnapped her, her bouts of anxiety began exploding into full-blown panic attacks. Honestly fair. Literally fair. When Corbin Dell, a cousin in Boston, suggests the 2 temporary swap apartments, Katie agrees, hoping that some time away will overcome her past traumas of her life. But at Corbin's apartment, Katie discovers that a neighbor, a young woman, has been murdered. When the police question her, Katie has a few answers, but many questions of her own, and her curiosity intensifies when she meets Alan, a handsome tenant who lives across the courtyard. Then she runs into a man claiming to be the dead woman's old boyfriend. Corbin claims it's Kate, not Katie. Corbin calms Kate's nerves until she comes across disturbing objects hidden in his apartment. Could he really be the killer? What about Alan? Kate finds herself drawn to him, but she can barely trust herself, let alone a stranger she's just met. The danger Kate imagines is nearly as twisted as what is about to happen when her every fear becomes real. So, there's that. Next, I got this collector's edition of a book for $13 at Half Price Books when I was out and about doing my Half Price Books crawl. And this is a book that I do hope to buddy read with my husband. If you guys would like to see that, let me know. This is one of his favorite books of all time, but he hasn't read it in years, so I think he really would need to do like a reread before he continues the series. And I figured if I end up hating this, I can just give him this like fun cover, but it is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. And this is the collector's edition. Like, how cool is this? Like, I'm obsessed with how this looks. I am the blade that is swung by your hand, slicing rainbow arcs. I am the clapper, but you are the bell, tolling to the great. So because this is a collector's edition, there is no, like, synopsis. But from what I know, is this it? No. From what I know, basically this is in a dystopian world where people don't die anymore, and they have these people, the scythes, that are like, their job is to like kill people because people don't die naturally. I don't really know, but that's what I think it's about. We'll find out. Another book that I got from the buy one get one 20% off from Target is Never Been Shipped by Alicia Thompson. I think this cover is so cute. It very much so gives me energy. And that's really, I don't know what this is about. I have the baseball book that she wrote. Haven't read that yet, but a band reunion may be enough to change two musicians' tune on love in this electric romance. So it should be cute. It's just a cute cover, so we had to have it. Then another thing I got for like the Target buy one get one 50% off situation. I wanted the Target cover of this book. I wanted the like, oh my god, the Target exclusive content sticker. It's really pissing me off. Oh, it's coming off so bad, you guys. Oh no, I do have Goo Gone, so if need be, I can do that. But before I show you the book, basically this book, I think came out in like 3 different, I think 2 places had like exclusive covers, and then there's like the general cover and sprayed edges, blah blah blah. They're all stunning. There's literally no bad option. They're all perfectly wonderful, but this is just the most me color scheme. And I checked my Target, they didn't have it. My friend checked her Target, they didn't have it. And then we were together and we were at a third Target and they had 1 copy. So picked up the Target exclusive colorway of the new Megan Quinn book. I've never read anything by Megan Quinn. I have like her Christmas book, the like Grinch one with the infamous candy cane scene. But here it is. This is, I don't know what this is about. Romance books, I don't really like care what they're about. I just kind of like buy them if I like it enough. I got what I wanted. I became buddy-buddy with my boss in an instant, but the cost will be hefty, finding a husband by tomorrow. Scotty Pierce just started a new job, and it's a real sausage fest. She's the only woman on the team filled with Brads and Chads, expecting a bachelor pad atmosphere. She is quickly corrected when she finds out everyone is happily married. In an effort to impress her boss, Scotty mentions her non-existent husband in a company meeting, but eagle-eyed Chad points out her lack of wedding ring. Panicked, Scotty creates a story about her unhappy marriage. Unfortunately for Scotty, her boss has a solution. A one-on-one session with the best marriage counselor in the Northeast, who happens to be her boss's husband. With no way out of the lie, Scotty agrees to see him. Frantic, she calls the help of her best friend, who sets her up with his brother, an improv-obsessed millionaire. Enter Wilder Wells. These names are crazy. More than happy to take on the job, he teaches Scotty, the man of improv. Always say yes. But the rule backfires during a session when Wilder signs up for an 8-day summer marriage camp with all of Scotty's co-workers, where she'll have to share a cabin with her way too handsome fake husband. Okay, I love fake dating, so I am excited about that. Next, I got a signed copy of With a Vengeance. I actually went to a event and met Riley Sager. I got this bookmark. I've read the prologue. I am going to be like tapping up this book. This is signed. This is I think my 3rd signed Riley Sager book. I have Middle of the Night and The Only One Left are both signed, and then I have this one now that is a signed edition. This has not been getting great reviews, but I did go to an event where I got to like kind of hear, well, I got to meet Riley, and I'm telling you right now, he was so kind, he was so nice, he was so funny, and like, I feel like it's really dicey meeting somebody that like you really look up to and that you really like, and they could really suck. That's like happened to me before, but he was incredible, and I'm so glad that I went. I feel like I'm gonna go into this very biased, but I'm like being upfront about that like, at the event, he talked about the writing of this and how he got the idea for it and his writing process and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like knowing these things, like having this background information gives me more of an appreciation for this book. So that's that. This is basically takes place in the 40s. And it is about our main character, Anna. And Anna, something has happened and she like hates this group of people that she has now lured onto a train. She wants them to suffer, and for that, she wants them to go to prison for the rest of their lives because she thinks that killing them would be, in Riley's words, merciful, and she's not feeling very merciful. So she is on this train with these people, and then somebody dies, and now she's in this precarious situation where she has to kind of like save the lives of people that she hates because she doesn't want them to die. She wants them to go to jail. So that's With a Vengeance. I do have this little pin that we also got. It says, Anna touches the tiny silver locomotive pin on her chest, reminding her of everything she has lost. And so we got the little locomotive pin, and this is my current read, so I am going to be reading some of that today. Next, at the half price book crawl, I got this book because my friend Christy had wanted to read it, and she's not like a huge romance reader, so for her to be like, yeah, like I really want to like buddy read this romance book that she picked out, I'm like, okay girl, sure. And so again, found it at Half Price Books. Actually, Andrea found it. She was like, oh my god, the sprayed edges on this are so cool. And I'm like, oh my god, I've been looking for this book. And she goes, well, there you go, darling. Here you go. Grab it. So I was able to pick this up. It has so many stickers on it because it's also from originally at Target, and Target stickers are such a bitch. Actually came off really nice, I will admit. The actual Half Price book sticker came off worse. This is the 9-month contract by Amy Dawes. Look at, we've got the buffalo plaid, we've got like the little goats and hearts and stuff. He wanted help. Grumpy mountain man seeks baby mama. Job is an incubator position only. Surrogate must be impervious to grunting as the form of communication. A noisy, brotherly neighbor, rustic mountain range housing available upon request. I wanted to pummel my irritating brothers when they posted their own version of a wanted ad to help me with my life. But I can't fault the results once the right woman lands in my lap. Becoming a single father is not a decision I made lately. In fact, it's the biggest decision of my entire life. Which is why, when I interviewed Trista, I knew she was perfect. She's wild, she's opinionated, she wears cowboy boots, even my pet goat loves her. She's the exact type of person I was holding out for. And to my great honor, I realized on our first night of attempting the baby-making dance, when the lights are low, the cheap wine is flowing, and some home insemination supplies are laid out on the counter, I want to do a lot more than to make her my surrogate. I want to make her mine. So she picked that, and I bought. I feel like I'm going so slow with this haul, so I do apologize. The next book we have is by Noelle Eiley, and that is how you say her name. I've looked it up. Also from the Half Price Books tour, and this one is called Gray After Dark. I've read Ask for Andrea by Noelle, and I love that book. It's one of my favorite reads of last year. Then I read her new book, Such Quiet Girls, and I thought it was very mid, so we'll see how I like this. A merciless wilderness, a harrowing attack, a desperate escape. When a tragic accident sidelines Miley's dreams of Olympic gold, she takes a summer job at a mountain guest lodge. And Frank Church Wilderness is remote, but it's the perfect place to train and recover. Local lore about a staffer who died years ago doesn't scare her, but it should. Miley plans to take a terrifying detour when she's abducted during a morning run. Held captive in a desolate off-grid cabin, she'll have to use her athletic prowess, cunning mind, and courage to survive. But as the nightmare at the cabin escalates, Miley is forced to form an unlikely alliance with attempt a risky escape. Can she outwit her captors and survive the wilderness before it is too late? So I do like abduction stories, so I mean, that sounds kind of fucked up, but hey. This one I also got on the Half Price Bookstore. This is If I Never Met You by Marley McFarlane, and I've heard a lot about this author recently, so I'm excited to try this out. When her partner of over a decade suddenly ends things, Lori is left reeling, and not only because they work at the same law firm and she has to see him every day, her once perfect life is in shambles, and the thought of dating again in the age of Tinder is nothing short of horrifying. When the news of her ex's pregnant girlfriend hits the office grapevine, Lori decides to take the humiliation. Lying down is not an option. Then a chance encounter in a broken down elevator with an office playboy opens up new possibilities. So we got a little workplace romance here. Then one of these was actually from Half Price Books for the buy one get one 50% off, and one of these was from Half Price Books, but it is the remaining books so that we have now all 5 books. I don't know the order. I'm gonna have to look that up when I put them on my bookshelf. It's the rest of the books in this like Cherry Harbor nonsense by Melanie Harlow. We have got Slapshot Surprise. It's got like booties and hockey sticks. An almost plane crash leads to an unexpected surprise in this sexy rom-com. And then this one's got cherries, and it says find out what happens when just friends turns into just once in this sexy small town romance by Melanie Harlow. So we've got that whole series now. This next book I also got at Half Price Books. I didn't know it existed. I love Rebecca Searle. I think she's very underrated. Her books are all magical realism, and I think that they are grossly underappreciated, if I'm being honest with you. One Italian Summer and In 5 Years are my 2 favorites. And they don't actually even have very great ratings on Goodreads. I think they both have like around a 3.6, which like I typically wouldn't even pick up a book with that kind of a rating, but her books really, they really get me. I didn't know this existed, and the cover on Goodreads is absolutely hideous, but I found this book. And it's called When You Were Mine. What in a name, Shakespeare? I'll tell you everything. Rosaline knows that she and Rob are destined to be together. Rose has been waiting for years for Rob to kiss her, and when he finally does, it's perfect. But then Juliet moves back to town. Juliet, who used to be Rose's best friend. Juliet, who now inexplicably hates her. Juliet, who is gorgeous, vindictive, and unpredictable, and who has her set sight on Rob. He doesn't stand a chance. Rose is devastated over losing Rob to Juliet, and when rumors start swirling about Juliet's instability, her neediness, and her growing problems, Rose starts to fear not only for Rob's heart, but also his life, because Shakespeare may have gotten the story wrong, but we all know how it ends. Before Juliet, there was Rosaline, and she has a story to tell. Oh, is this like a Romeo and Juliet retelling? I don't know the story of Romeo and Juliet. I'll be so for real with you. Okay, I think we only have 1, 2, 3. We have 6 books left. This book I got on clearance at Half Price Books for only $5, hardcover, and this book has like really high ratings on Goodreads, like a 4 point something, like a 4.3 or 4.2. So I was like, okay, for $5, and the cover is stunning, beautiful, lovely. I feel like when you get them out of the clearance section, it's because they've been there for a while, and oh my god, the sticker is really sticking. It's really stuck on there. You know what I'm saying? Really, it also doesn't help that I literally clipped my nails this morning, so it's like real hard to get this like sticky nonsense off. Okay, so this is another sapphic romance. It's YA, and it's called Imogen. How do you say this name? I think it's Imogen, obviously. But I think I miss it being straight. I mean, I miss people thinking I'm straight. And by that, I mean I miss people knowing I'm straight, because I am straight. One girl can't topple your entire sexuality, can she? So, the cover, cute, looks cute. Hopefully it's good. Then I picked up this book, which is another book that I'm sure will be very mediocre, because I've only read book 1. Do I own the whole series? Yup. But I'm committed to the bit, you know. I'm committed to reading this whole series. And that's this nonsense. I don't know the name of the series. Harbor something? I don't know. This is the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. Book 4 in this series. So we got that. Then I picked this up at Book People, which is a bookstore here in Austin. And it's called Goblin by Josh Malerman. I'm currently collecting all of Josh Malerman's books, and this is basically a bunch of novellas, 6 novellas, and each novella reveals a sinister secret about this town. So I'm interested to see how that goes. Then the next book I got due to a recommendation on Instagram, maybe. I saw a reel and the girl was talking about like cult type of books, and I've read 2 book recommendations from that and given both of them 5 stars. So I have really high hopes for this. This is called Those Girls by Chevy Stevens. Life has never been easy for the 3 Campbell sisters. Jess, Courtney, and Danny live on a remote ranch in Western Canada where they work hard to try to stay out of their way of their father's temper. One night, a fight gets out of hand and the sisters are forced to go on the run, only to get caught in an even worse nightmare when their truck breaks down in a small town. As events spiral out of control, they find themselves in a horrifying situation where they're left with no choice but to change their names and create new lives. 18 years later, they are still trying to forget what happened that summer, but when one sister goes missing, followed closely by her niece, they are pulled back into the past, and this time there's nowhere left to run. This is a girl? Chevy Stevens is a woman? I thought that was a dude. Evidently not. Okay. The next one is another sapphic romance. It is Pride Month that I am filming this, so felt inspired to pick up all of the Pride related books, and they've all been like on display at the half price books. And then Ellen Catherine recently read this and gave it a really good review, so I was excited to pick this up. I've never read anything by Casey McQuiston. I don't think I own anything besides this book now. And this I think has some magical realism, and it's called One Last Stop, and it is about these 2 girls who have some sort of romance on a subway train. And then finally I have my Afterlight subscription, which I am subscribed to Afterlight, and this past month was Any Trope But You. This feels very much so like not something I want to receive in the month. I think this was like the May book, because it's like literally maximum winter themed, but this is called Any Trope But You. It's not signed. It has like a printed signature, which I think is kind of cringe. But it says, popular romance author Margot Bradley has a secret. She doesn't believe in happily ever afters. Not for herself, not for her readers, not even for her characters. But when a super fan leaks this to the world, Margot is dropped faster than you can say enemies to lovers. Her sister thinks she needs a change of scene and sends Margot off to a remote Alaskan cabin on a writing retreat that could be the perfect chance to say goodbye to rom-coms and write something new. Maybe swap meet cutes for murder mysteries, but then she meets the handsome owner, Forrest. She's a city girl, he's a lumberjack, of course he is. He's grumpy. Wait, is she Sunshine? Oh no. At least there's no forced proximity, but that snowstorm is heading right straight towards the cabin. As one trope after another draws them together over a long snowy night, one thing is clear: Margot and Forrest have landed in their own romance novel of their very own. But will they be able to overcome their fears or risk becoming another of Margot's happily ever afters themselves? So, this is the dust jacket. It looks completely different than the original dust jacket, and it's actually like way cuter than the original, in my opinion. We have got custom end pages. Got this one, and we've got this one. And then we have the naked hardcover. It has a bunch of like little doodles on it, as well as the UV printing on there, and I think it is super duper cute. But that is everything, friends. That is all 40 books that I have to haul with you for you, and I'm gonna go put these all away, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.